Welcome everyone to the Miami Sports Vibes podcast with your host here, Hernando, with my co-host Jacoby, following a nice little Christmas Day special with the Miami Dolphins, beating a damn good team, beating the Dallas Cowboys, putting an end to yet another narrative that people written. Jacoby, how's it going? Jacoby's battling through a little bit under the weather, but my man is here. Jacoby, how you feeling, bro?
I feel good, man. It was a stressful one, like I said, and I called it. Jason Sanders game-winning field goal. I didn't have him hitting 450 yarders, but he came through with the win. It was such a fun game to watch, and now it's set. Like I said, now it sets up the biggest game in Dolphins history in the last 20 years.
Damn right. The biggest game in Dolphins history is right, man. I can't even, I mean, obviously, playoffs is what it is, but I haven't this regular season game, man. It feels like it's just gonna be a showdown. You got the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed in Baltimore. The storylines are there. When you're talking about MVP, you're talking Tua, you're talking Lamar. You remember what happened last season. Dude, I'm fired the hell up, man, and I know you are too. You've been talking about this day. You've been talking about this weekend's matchup for quite some time. I know you're fired up, man. I mean, what is this? What would a win mean to you? Like, how would you be feeling after a win if we do win?
Dude, the feeling will be indescribable. I don't even know how to say it, but I will tell you this: like, my confidence was up here, and then what they did to San Francisco, now I'm up in the air. I don't know what to expect for this game, and we are beat to shit. I don't know if you've seen the injury report, but Tua's hurt now, so it's just. But they usually, if they're limited, they play. But this team is so beat up right now, and they still beat the Cowboys. So I have the faith that they could pull this one off too. But it's just I'm excited yet nervous as shit. But I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, think about it. I did see the latest on Tua, being limited today. What's up, Zell, in the chat? And it sucks. It sucks because yeah, injuries are part of the game. Injuries are part of the season. Who is injured? Who is healthy at the end of the year? You hear all that stuff, but it still sucks, to have main guys, limited, main guys going on IR, main guys going banged up. And we've been dealing with this the entire season. Not to say that, nobody else is dealing with injuries, but it still sucks, especially when, a main guy like Tua is banged up, whether he's limited or not. He's not 100%. And that kind of sucks, being the most important position. You saw Jalen Waddle go down. You talk about injuries. You saw Jalen Waddle go down against Dallas, but then you also saw him, cheering up and down, so it's kind of misleading. You heard Mike McDaniel's not ruling out Waddle. The Waddle injury news, man. What's the latest that you're hearing, and how do you feel about the news?
It's just been one weird season for Jalen Waddle. I was watching Jalen Waddle highlights from 2022 last night. I'm just like, man, even though he's put up 1,000 yards, that Waddle and this year's Waddle is just a tale of two seasons, man. It's been real up and down for him. And now he's, I don't buy what McDaniel says. I think he's out till playoffs for sure. I don't even think that's a possibility. I think they're just throwing that out there. You know how McDaniel is with injuries. Mm-hmm. So I think he's out till playoffs. And it sucks because, Waddle played a huge role in the last win against Baltimore. So, I mean, you're definitely going to miss his presence. But, this unlocks a huge opportunity for – I'm going to get into this later. But, I mean, for other guys to step up. And, you got to do what you got to do. I hope McDaniel has the right game plan. And it's going to be a fun one, dude. It's going to be one for the ages, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Listen, I'm at a point where it's no excuses, man. Like, who you are. Your team has had the whole season to be ready for these opportunities. You got other guys in this team that are highly talented enough. They're gonna get opportunity. And Mike McDaniel has shown, last time playing against a top defense in New York, what he was able to do without a guy like Tyreek Hill. So, now even though Tyreek's not 100%, now you're missing Waddle. The opportunity is going to be there, and it's solely on Mike McDaniel, getting the offense ready. He has to have tricks up his sleeve. He's shown it before, and no excuse, man. Like, we got to get it done. Nobody's healthy at the end of the day. But it's definitely a big blow, man. Like you mentioned, like Waddle and last year and this year, it's like I can't even. It's like it's such a quiet 1,000 yards. Like you really don't feel it like you did last year. And you mentioned last year him being a big part of that Ravens, the win over there in Baltimore. He had 100+ yards. Tyreek had 100+ yards, and Tyreek probably doesn't get those big plays if it wasn't for Jalen Waddle the way he was playing throughout the game. So he's definitely going to be missed, man. But I do want to touch on this game this past Sunday on Christmas Eve. So obviously, getting the win 22-20 at home was good. A lot of Dallas Cowboys fans there. Too many, which we assumed.
Yeah.
We assumed. But the
It sucks.
Dolphins.
I mean, even last week was a huge game in recent history, and they still couldn't bring it out. The fans, dude, it just blows my mind.
It freaking sucks. It kind of makes you a little. I'm like, maybe a 2 seed will probably be better for us. Let's travel a little bit, But we did get the win, man. Tua had a nice game, 293 yards, only 1 touchdown pass. Got sacked once, so shout out to the line. They did play better this game. Held Dak Prescott on the defense to 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. That last drive by Prescott was pretty impressive. I'm not even going to lie. But how do you feel about the Dolphins finally beating a good team and winning this one past Sunday?
Man, it was, they had a great game plan and they executed it well, man. I was watching a lot of stuff last week. They were talking about, Dallas's defensive scheme, how they're so good at taking away those 20 to 25 yard gains, but it leaves open the 10 to 15 yard ranges. And, they were getting a lot of short gains. And that was something in the game plan that I was looking for. Tua hits those at ease and he was hitting them really well. And, we saw some great things from the run game. Mostert got banged up a little bit. That's something else to monitor. Achane really couldn't get going. So how about Jeff Wilson? He steps up. He gets us the first down to end the game. And that was a great sight to see. The run game still looked pretty fire. So it was just a fun game, man. Jason Sanders, just
your boy
proving out like on all his field goals, man, except for the last one. I was like, no, like don't do it. So Sanders definitely shut me up. But this was something I was pretty vocal about on Twitter. But Mike McDaniel, again, leaving points on the board, running plays that he's admitted that he needs to get better at not calling, runs that stupid fade route again, and they left 3 points off the board, and it almost cost them the game. So that was very, very agitating. But other than that, it was a great Christmas.
No, it definitely was. And you mentioned it right on the stream last week, man. He said Jason Sanders is going to be the guy to clutch it up, man. And he did so. 5 for 5, bro. 57 yards was his longest kick. 16 points from Jason Sanders. 16 out of the 22 from Jason Sanders. Like, that's just crazy. And I'm kind of relieved that you said that about the last kick. So I guess I wasn't the only one where you kind of thought there was a slight chance that he would miss the chip shot, right?
No, yeah, like I don't know, like I felt nervous. I was like, this would be the ultimate Christmas heartbreak like last year, or they block it. They were close to blocking it if you look at the replay. But yeah, I mean, it was like I wasn't comfortable on any of the kicks, if I'm honest with you.
No, any of them, even attempting the 57. I'm like, what? You're gonna go for it with Sanders? Like, nah, man. But hey, listen, Sanders pulled through, and that's exactly what I want to see at this point of the season. Listen, get those kicks under your belt. We need you in the playoffs kicking like that because you can't leave points on the board. You did mention Jeff Wilson, man. I mean, talk about being ready for an opportunity and kind of putting the game away. And that's one thing that I've also have liked this year as opposed to last year. It's us managing the clock better. We're really like these 4-minute, 5-minute drives to end the games. Like, we're really putting teams away and smartly. We're not going for the home run shot. We're just beating them with speed and just play calling. That's one thing I got to give credit to Mike McDaniel, because clock management was a little bit of an issue last year, and he has improved in that front. Other news, we held Tony Pollard to under 40 yards. He finished with 38. CD had a freaking monster game. That was to be expected. I mean, it just sucks, though, to see him line up on the slot and just go to town on Kohu, man. Is it frustrate
Not
you
just
that
Kohu, but Xavier Howard, dude?
Yeah. Oh, he was getting sauce too. Does it frustrate you that Fangio's not allowing Ramsey to go one-on-one? We saw some media circulation about him being upset with that. Are you okay with that?
I mean, I'm 50-50. I mean, when if CD is going to go off like he did in the first half, then I would definitely get somebody else on there. But at the same time, I trust Fangio's scheme 100%. I'm not going to argue with it because after that outburst, they held CD catchless till the fourth quarter. So I mean, adjustments were made, and this I have complete faith in this scheme and this defense. Whether it's if the players aren't happy with it, I mean, the stats say otherwise. So I was 50-50 on it, but if this situation happens like in week 18 or in the playoffs, like what happened with Kohu and Diggs, like you can't have Kohu on those guys. You really just can't. So I know like people say he's stubborn, but I'm like, no, he's got faith in his scheme. His scheme is proven to work. So why screw it up?
Yeah.
So I was 50-50 on it to say the least, but it did get irritating when CD just couldn't get stopped.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you said. It's kind of 50-50, but I do get it. To me, it's like Fangio's had so much success in the league. Like his way is his way. And listen, like we bought Fangio out here to do his thing. Like who are we to say, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that? Listen, bring that same thing that's got you to have the name that you have in the NFL and bring it on over. So I'm kind of taking it like, listen, I got what I got. Like Fangio, just do what you like. You know best, and we should go forward from here. Bradley Chubb also had a big game. He's been tearing it up, especially since Jalen Phillips has went down. He finished with a sack and a half, 4 tackles. Van Ginkel, another guy. Like those two, ever since Phillips has gone down, Van Ginkel and Bradley Chubb have just turned it up a whole nother level, and it's just like wow. And so Zach Sealer, by the way. I think those three. Wilkins has also turned it up, but to me, that really pops out is Chubb, Van Ginkel, and Sealer since Jalen Phillips has been out. I mean, what do you got to say about those guys, man?
Hey, that's that next man up mentality. That's the thing you want to see when your star goes down, and hopefully we see that this week with the offense. I don't think this offense, even though we've been winning games, they've been in a rut. Like from what we're used to seeing, I would say probably since the Chiefs game.
Yeah,
We
I
haven't
agree.
really seen this offense hit on all strides as we used to. Granted, we've been getting wins out of it still, but like I think I'm sounding a little ungrateful. They still put up 300 plus yards total yards, but they're not having those explosive plays that we're used to seeing, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that's a part of like teams have caught on. I think it's like they're banged up. It's getting to that time of the year, but if you're going to choose a game to break out now, it's this week. So hopefully we see something.
Yeah, we need to see fireworks. We've been saying that for quite a couple weeks. I think yeah, like before that KC game, and it sucks to see. But even though we are picking up yardage, I think it's just a lot of the injuries. And I hate to say that, and I don't want to make excuses, but it's hard. Tyreek goes down, that's a big blow to our offense. And Jalen Waddle's in and out when it's like he seems to get hurt every other game, even though he comes back and plays. He seems to get banged up. That's difficult to deal with. Then you got, Devon A-Chain when he got hurt and then he had to come back. He missed all those times, all that time off. So it's a lot of moving parts. The offensive line, that's not even been mentioned as well. It's hard to develop a rhythm, but hopefully, we're able to do that. You saw Durham Smythe get some action, 5 receptions for 56 yards. I even forgot he was on the team for quite some time, but it was nice to see his name get called. I want to ask you a question though. Tyreek Hill, he finished with 9 for 99 on 14 targets. He missed the previous game. The game before that, he was in and out. It seemed to be, out of breath a lot. He was trying to push through, trying to give it all he's got. He's clearly banged up. Where do you think? What percentage do you give Tyreek Hill? How healthy in a percent wise do you think he is going into this week's game?
I'm going to say a solid 75.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely not up there. He's missing like you kind of saw in Hard Knocks, like he couldn't really take the routes he is used to taking 100%. But I think he's going to tough it out, and I think you got to look at bigger picture here. You got to win this game and just rest everybody. I don't care if Buffalo wins and gets in. You got to rest guys, man. Like I think the 1 seed is kind of unrealistic right now in a way, and I'll get into that a little bit. I know it's right there for the grabbing, but it's just this team is so banged up, and you can't just throw them all out there, risk even more injury just for a Week 18 game to
Mm-hmm.
possibly kick Buffalo out. So that's just where I'm coming from. But yeah, I don't think he's up there yet, and I don't think he'll be up there this week either for, in terms of 100%.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of concerning. You can tell he's not 100 when you see him literally, in and out of plays. The amount of times that he goes out. Granted, I know even when he's in motion, he does like to catch the breath for one play, but sometimes he's staying out there for even multiple. But hey, listen, Tyreek is going to give it his all, and that clearly shows. I mean, critical third down plays on this past Sunday. It was just Tyreek's a dog, man. But we're definitely going to need him, hopefully, to get up on that percentage. But rest is definitely needed, especially for that man, because as Tua and him, they're the engine. So we absolutely need them. But let's talk about this game, man. This Sunday. I am freaking pumped up. Jacoby, I told you that I am fortunate enough to be going to this game. I'm freaking pumped the hell up. I'm excited. The number 1 seed versus number 2, Ravens and Dolphins. I got your thoughts on how you're feeling about this one. But what are your keys to victory to beating these Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, man. I want to look to see, even San Francisco, even though San Francisco lost, the one thing that really stood out to me was George Kittle. He was just being used in a way where they just couldn't get a read or stop him. And Miami has a weapon that I think they can use just like that. And that is Chase Claypool.
Ooh.
Jalen Waddle is not going to play this week. Like, if he does, I would be very concerned because he's a high ankle sprain. You don't fuck with that. And I just rest him for playoffs. Like, I don't see him playing at all. So get Chase Claypool in the fucking game. You can use him like the Niners used George Kittle, and that way it could take some of the pressure off Tyreek. That's my first key. I've been thinking about this since watching that game. Get Chase Claypool in this game. Utilize him in the way San Francisco utilized Kittle. Then you'll have some more options on the offensive end. My second one, man, is containing Lamar Jackson. If I'm Fangio, I'm putting a spy on him, dude. He's going to kill you with your legs. He's going to extend plays. And, Dak was doing that to the Dolphins. But Lamar can just do it in, just gut-wrenching ways. Like, he can pretty much end the game with his legs, man. So
Yep.
you got to contain Lamar Jackson, man. It's a must. And then my third one is protecting Tua, the O-line. This is a big one. The O-line, hopefully we get Rob Hunt back. I hope so. It's been about 4 weeks, kind of getting irritated with him. But like we need as much O-line as we can this week, so that'd be great. But Tua's already banged up, so you got to protect Tua at all costs. And I think if you follow those 3 keys, I think you're going to be in good position to win.
I absolutely like that, man. Throwing in Chase Claypool. I mean, it's been disappointing, man. The fact that we traded for him and we have him, and it's like we're not utilizing him. He's a big dude, bro. Like, what are we doing?
No, it's the only trade you made. So
yeah, that's true.
Get him in, like, dude, you can use him in all these end zone plays they run, and you probably score on at least half of them that you failed on. Like the fourth down they tried. You throw that fade route to Chase, I'm pretty sure he gets it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It's just I hope McDaniel utilizes him in some way. It's time. You gotta get another weapon out there that they're not going to expect, and they're going to have trouble containing. So that's what I think.
No, I'm with you, man. I think he definitely needs to be, utilized. We trade. It's the only trade you made. I mean, if not now, then when? I think I love the keys to victory, and I think that definitely the O-line would be my first one because you're going against a team that has some crazy momentum right now. Who just gave it to the 49ers, who took Brock Purdy out of the MVP conversation, even though he shouldn't have even been there in the first place. But you're going against a physical Ravens defense, man, at home where they're comfortable at. They're on a hell of a winning streak right now. They're just dominating the AFC. The offensive line, like, they're going to have to be on their A game now. They did pretty good against Dallas, which was awesome to see. Got away with a couple penalties. Micah Parsons posted about that, but I'll take it. Got to do what you got to do.
Did you see the roughing call on Wilkins? Like,
of course,
it was called both ways.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Listen, Cowboys are gonna leave that out, man. It's always how it is when they complain.
Yeah.
But definitely, offensive line's got to be ready to protect Tua, man. Without Jalen Waddle, he's probably gonna need a little bit more time out there in the pocket. I think offensive line first. Second, the defense has to continue to, stay the course. And I agree with you, like limiting Lamar Jackson. Last year when I went to this game and they played each other, Lamar Jackson was just like running everywhere. And then he got this big 70+ yard run, which was just insane to freaking watch. I'm like, that's just unbelievable. But that was back then. Back then we couldn't tackle quarterbacks. I think we've done a little bit
I
of a
will
better
say
job.
we've done a really good job at containing the QB run this year.
Yeah.
Even with Josh Allen, he didn't really have the biggest game rushing wise
Mm-hmm.
either. So I mean, hopefully, that continues. But one thing also to monitor for Baltimore is Kyle Hamilton didn't practice today.
And he's a big part of that defense.
He was causing all sorts of chaos for San Francisco. So that's an injury to monitor for Miami, for Baltimore.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And that defense, from what I've been hearing on a couple of Raven pods that I've been listening to, that the defense is different when Kyle Hamilton's out there. So,
you saw it after he left the game. They were getting
Yeah.
shredded by Darnold.
That's true.
So we'll see. And I expect Javon Holland back this week because you need him this week. I don't want Elliott and Jones out there.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Freaking Elliott, man. Elliott was just pissing me off.
Yeah.
I like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing with these penalties? Like, damn, come on, wake the hell up. Even though he made that clutch play in the first quarter, which I do give him
that
credit
was,
for.
that was the play of the game, probably.
Hell yeah, that was badass. But offensive line containing Lamar, just like you said. So I'm with you on those two. And then the third one has got to be who's the other guy? Who's going to be the other guy to show out? Is it going to be Cedric Wilson? Is it going to be Braxton? Is it going to be Claypool? Is it going Achane? Are you going to basically show us what you were showing us? I want to see somebody else besides Hill, besides Mostert, because we're going to need it. It cannot be those two guys. Baltimore is definitely probably going to take the deep threat away. Like, I don't think we're going to get a big, if we do, it's probably one, and it's probably by mistake, which you tend to get once a game, but I don't think it's going to be there like it was. They remember what happened to them. So Mostert, besides Mostert and Hill, who's going to be that other guy? I'm hoping it's Achane. I think he has the biggest upside. He's the one who's done it before and have had big games. So those are my three keys to victory. Next man up, got to be ready this game. But I'm excited for this one, man. What do you think of this Ravens team? You mentioned the defense, man, but they're on a tear, man. 12-3. Like, how do you feel about the Ravens team as a whole?
No, I really like it. Their offense is really beat up. Like they don't even have Mark Andrews. Who was it? Mitchell. That was that rookie running back they had that was just killing it. He tore his ACL. I mean, and they're still like going and beating up teams.
Which is crazy.
They're on a 6-game winning streak, dude. I really love their team. Their offense though. The only thing that really scares me is Lamar right now. And I have the faith that our defense is going to make them work for it. I don't see either team putting up a lot of points this week, if I'm honest with you. But it's their defense that scares me. So you just got to come in ready. Hopefully McDaniel has game plan of the year.
Do you think it's better probably to make Lamar Jackson beat us throwing the football?
I would say so, yeah, because what Baltimore's really good at is keeping the ball out of the opposing team's hand. You don't want them to just run down your throat, just kill all this clock and keep the ball out of Miami's hands. And I think that's what they're going to try to do. Mm-hmm. They're going to try to tire out our defense, man, and just stifle our offense that is already hurt. So you got to be ready for that run game, dude. And we're really good against the run. So like I said, man, I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, no, I'm freaking it. I'm pumped up, man. 786 rushing yards, 5.5 per carry for Lamar Jackson this season. That's just crazy, man. It's like the way they just design it. He's going to run. He's going to get his opportunities, and he still finds ways to make it happen. I think we should bring pressure, man, and I'm comfortable, having Lamar beat us passing, especially when you have X and Ramsey out there. Thankfully, X is back, even though he got toasted again, but I'd rather him out there with Ramsey than anybody else.
Gotta watch out for Flowers too. He could be sneaky.
Yeah, that is true. Odell, sneaky as well. Yeah, I know you.
I forgot about him. If I'm honest with you.
Listen, man, Odell.
It was the Zay Flowers game against San Francisco.
Odell has. I don't know. Sometimes he ends up catching one.
Don't X on Odell and put Ramsey on.
That's where I'm at.
On Flowers.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that one, man. To be honest with you, X factors for the game, man. If you had to give me one,
man, you know what? I'm gonna go with the guy who's been leading it since Jerome Baker going out. I'm gonna give it to because you know what, our defense has to step up, and he's been killing it. He's been making plays. It's kind of looked a little more better than Jerome Baker. So I'm going to give it to Duke Riley.
Oh,
I'm going to take a little underdog here because I
like it.
think it's going to take a special defensive play to win this game. And he's been all over the place. He's been looking a lot better than Jerome, to be honest with you. And I think, I think our front seven is going to do their thing. I think Tua is going to do his thing. Tyreek's going to get his touches, but somebody has to step up and make a big time play, like Deshaun Elliott did. Like that play saved us a season, if we're being honest with you. So I'm
Yeah.
going to pick another underdog here. Give me Duke Riley.
I'm I like it. I really like it. I really like it, especially as you mentioned, Lamar is a scrambling quarterback. Your linebackers are gonna have to be active out there.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's the spy or him or David Long, one of them two.
That's very
I feel
true.
like you got to do a spy in this game.
Yeah. I was gonna go with A Chain on this one, but I kind of like the under the radar guys that you're picking. So I'm gonna go with one of those as well. Even though his name is obviously more popular, especially as of late. I'm gonna go with Van Ginkel, man. I think Van Ginkel is the X factor. I think that's the
Okay.
guy that's gonna get those opportunities that Riley has as well, especially out there on the edge to kind of prevent Lamar Jackson from getting loose. Sometimes Bradley Chubb does come close to getting sacks, but we've seen him miss a couple times and kind of, once he lets a guy go, he doesn't recover quick enough. But Van Ginkel seems to just not let those opportunities. Like once he's there, for the most part, Van Ginkel gets the job done. So you
Yes,
got
yeah.
Riley, I got Van Ginkel, man. I think those two, both of them, are going to be in store for a big one.
I hope so, dude. We need it.
Absolutely, man. Score and predictions, man. How do you think this game shapes out?
Yeah. So I was doing some thinking on this, and I've been hitting stuff on the rock all year long, dude. I've been calling stuff left and right, and I'm gonna. I think this is just in the stars. I don't think the league's gonna. I think this is why this game didn't get flex, because I think the league wants next week to be relevant.
Yep.
So I'm going to take Baltimore. I'm going to say Baltimore's going to win this one. They want to clinch that one seed at home, and with Miami's injuries right now, I'm just not too confident. They can prove me the hell wrong. I hope they do, but I'm going to take Baltimore 20-10. And then
Oh,
next week will be for the division, like I predicted. So
damn. 10 points for our boys, huh?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
the offense is just too beat up.
Yeah. Okay.
And if Baltimore would have played differently to San Francisco, I probably would have picked Miami. But if you could stop San Francisco like they did, you're scary, dude. Like that's not easy. So
Yeah. No.
um, but
I
like I
see.
said, like I was completely shocked they didn't flex this game. Like they rather have kept Packers and Vikings on Sunday Night Football.
Crazy.
So I just think it's in the stars. They want next week to be for the division, and they'll probably flex that game. So I think it's in the stars. I think the league wants this to happen. So I'm gonna go Baltimore.
I could see that, man. Zell in the chat says 35-10 Ravens. So
No,
he
I don't
says
think it would be that bad.
that's kind of crazy, man. But hey, man, listen. Okay. So here's my take on this game, man. I'm as much as I want to say I think the Dolphins are going to win this game. I'm actually siding with you. I think we are going to lose this game because I have to give my prediction, man. I think we are going to lose this game. I think it's going to be competitive though. I think we are going to come close. But I just think when it's all said and done, because of what you said, man, if Baltimore were to lose this game against San Fran this past Monday, I would have felt differently about it. But the way that they looked and the things that I'm hearing from Baltimore side, listening to a couple of their radio shows, I just like to always do that, whenever we're playing an opponent. And the vibe over there from what I'm hearing, and I try to listen to multiple, so I know I'm not listening to a crazy biased person. Like it's that mentality that they have. I'm hearing that they really like embrace that stuff. They were pissed that they were underdogs against San Fran. Like they were really really upset about that. And speaking about that, usually teams are just like they downplay it, but apparently they were very vocal about it. You saw what they did. Apparently this is a team that has this game circled on their calendar as well from what happened last year. They haven't forgot about that. They have another opportunity to kind of right that wrong. I mean, Tua threw for 6 touchdowns against them. They didn't forget that. So extra motivation there. They're playing for the 1 seed, and they just look like they're firing on all cylinders, even with the injuries to Mark Andrews. And this team is at home. Baltimore at home is different, man. And I think if there was any doubt that this Baltimore Ravens team had, it would have been out the window, you know, if they lost to San Fran. It's pretty much like, okay, this is who we are. But winning against San Fran, their confidence just went from like 90 to like 110, man, like at this point, because plenty of people, including myself, had San Fran as the best team. Now, if you beat the best team, especially on the road, you kind of get that crown until somebody takes it from you. So that, along with the injuries, with Jalen Waddle, not being 100%, I think this is a game where it's going to be competitive. Mike McDaniel is going to be ready. He's going to have something up his sleeve. I think we are going to be firing. We're going to probably get that one big play. I think our defense is going to show up. But when it's all said and done, this definitely has a playoff feel to it. And I think Baltimore wins this game 27-24. I think they win by 3 points on a Tucker field goal. And it's just, they're just gonna kill us, I think. And they're gonna manage the hell out of that clock running. That's how I see it. But unfortunately, I have a Dolphins loss on this one.
Yeah, it's just, I think the things that Miami benefits for in this game, like, first of all, they're on short rest. They had to fly across country on Tuesday and then have practice today. So they're on very short rest, and Miami's just flying up the country a little bit. So that's a big advantage for Miami right there. And, you see what they did with Brock Purdy, man. Like, Brock was just, missing reads, throwing passes into areas just he shouldn't have been. Tua doesn't do that. Tua gets rid of the ball like that. So I think that's a big advantage for Miami as well. Tua gets rid of the ball very quickly. The reads are there, like right as the ball is snapped. So that's going to be advantages for Tua as well. You're going to want to make them drop back into coverage so they get that run game going. So
yeah.
I think both teams has advantages. But like I said, man, them not flexing this game just screams to me that they want Buffalo and Miami next week for the division.
Yeah.
So I expect a lot of penalties from Miami. Like I'm a big believer in that shit because we've seen it.
We have.
So I just don't think it's in the stars for Miami to win this game. But who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, we have seen it. We've seen it in NFL. We've seen it in NBA when the league wants a game 7 or the league wants something to come down to something that could just net them more money. They will absolutely do that. So it's pretty much us against the Ravens and us against the Zebras as well, man. I'm with you, bro.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, I'm excited. It's not on prime time. That's usually Miami's favor. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But I mean, at the end of the day, I've been seeing a lot of stuff from Ravens fans on Twitter. Man, respectable stuff. They're just like,
that's true.
They're like, this can't get any better. Like, this is going to be a showdown for the ages. Like this is going to be an amazing game. Like, just total respect, man. It's been really cool to see. Unlike Bills fans who are just talking shit every moment they get and just putting down anything, trying to stay relevant down there. But I mean, just like, I think it's going to just be a really good game. But I think, like I said, I just don't
too
think
much.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope. Obviously, we both hope we're wrong. I'm giving us at least a chance here. If I say we lose by 3, maybe even 4, the opportunity will be there. I'm freaking excited. I'm gonna have.
So here's the question for you now.
Yeah, talk to me.
You win this game. Buffalo wins. Week 18's for the first seed. I think if Buffalo wins, I think they're in the playoffs no matter what. Do you rest everybody week 18?
Man, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one because it's like you will have an opportunity to rest if you get the 1, but that's not guaranteed, right?
Yeah. They'll need I think if they win, they'll need to either win or Baltimore loses, and they got Pittsburgh, I think. So
yeah.
I say just rest
everybody. I say rest, man. To be honest, man, I know it's probably gonna be. It's not what they're gonna do. I doubt it. But me as a fan, man, what I've seen from this team, what I've seen from this offensive line, what I've seen from this team as a whole with injuries and how fragile, unfortunately, we are. I think this whole team, our main guys need a freaking extra bye week. And if we're already clinched the division and we're clinched the playoff spot and the 1 seed, what you get is a bye. Just use this as a freaking bye, man, and then roll through it, man. Like, get your guys healthy, get Tyreek that rest. You're going to be home, obviously, so you get to stay home on that last week. You get to stay home for the first playoff game. And then, you're playing against the worst seed in the AFC. I mean, maybe it's Indy, maybe it's Houston, even though, it's still going to be a tough out, but it's a good opportunity, I think. So
Because
I'm with you.
I just think if you win this week and clinch the division, there's no benefit in winning week 18, in my honest opinion, because hear me out. You're not going to push Buffalo out. Odds are you're going to push them to the 7th seed, which you will face the following week, or you win, you probably get a couple of injuries out of it, and you don't even get the 1 seed. I just don't see any benefit.
Buffalo ain't gonna take it easy either. You
Yeah,
know
hey, you
they
know
like
what?
to
But
hurt our guys too.
I was talking to my cousin about this, who's another diehard Fins fan, and he was like, "Hell no, you play everybody week 18." He's like, did they rest everybody in 2020 when they had nothing to play for and they knocked us out? I was like, yeah, I mean, I do remember that. Yeah, they played they had nothing else to play for, and they beat us by like 30 and knocked us out of the playoffs. So I don't know. I mean, if you can knock them out of the playoffs, I'd probably play everybody. But
Yeah, that's a different scenario. But I mean, gotta assume they're gonna make it, especially with the Patriots this weekend.
I mean, they almost lost to the fucking Chargers, dude.
That's fucking true.
Dude, I was at the Kings game when that game was going on, and my brother and I were watching the whole Bills game on our phone because we thought they were gonna fucking lose, dude, and we forgot all about we were at this game. Shit, man, they almost had it too, man.
They did. I thought they were gonna pull it off. But listen, man, I'm with you, man. I could see both sides of it, but I think that's a very, very interesting question. We shall see how it goes. If you have an opportunity to kick Buffalo out the playoffs, though, but that's what I say. I don't think this team will do what we're suggesting anyway, because it's just you're preaching. You gotta preach the opposite as a coach and professional team. So
yeah, or maybe just give them a couple DNPs week 18, one limited practice, play them for a couple quarters,
or
see if it's a ball game. If not, then pull them out. I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, maybe a half or something.
Yeah. So, but I just, man, the division is all that matters right now. I'm not even concerned about the 1 seed. I just want the division.
Me too. I want that division so bad, man. Hopefully, I'll be celebrating the division.
Yeah, I hope you are. I'll be calling you if you are.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be super excited, man. I'll be posting pictures and videos on my Twitter feed for anyone listening. I'm excited as hell, man. I'm excited. Gonna be spending New Year's over there in Baltimore, man. So
can't get much better than that.
Yeah, man. Well, go Pats. Let's see how it goes down. So next segment, the fantasy segment. We are in the fantasy football finals, man. Jacoby made it, playing my little bro this weekend. How you feeling, man?
Man, I was on death's doorstep entering Christmas Day. I was like, I'm not making it in either of my leagues. And I'm pulling up my matchup right now, but I don't know how I pulled it off, dude. I know for sure in one of my leagues I was playing Ayuk and Brock, and so that helped me tremendously. And then Devontae Adams putting up 1 point, so that helped me so much. But like my 3 best players, Kamara, Waddle, and Moore, gave me a combined 16 points. I was like, I'm done.
I thought you were.
And then I had Lamar, McCaffrey, and Tucker going into the Monday night game, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not making it. And they gave me like 60 points combined. So I sneaked into the Super Bowl, the fantasy Super Bowl, and I'm excited. I got a little bit of better matchups this week. I'm in both my leagues, but the sucky thing is I'm playing against Nakua in both these games.
Uh-oh.
So so I'm pissed off about that. I don't have Waddle. And Waddle is my team's name, so it's named after Waddle. So it's gonna be tough. I got some tough matchups, but as long as I have McCaffrey, dude, I think I'm in great shape.
Yeah, you are, bro. There was a stat that said I think like over 60% of people at CMC are in the fantasy finals too.
Yep. So
it's no joke.
I'm excited. I've never won a league before. This is my second time in the bowl in your league. I was in there a couple years ago. I had a great team. I had McCaffrey as well. And I think what happened was whoever I was playing, he put up like 270 points. I was like, are you fucking kidding? Like the most he's put up all year was like 110.
How do you put that much up?
I don't know. It was so much. Like Khalil Herbert had like a 90-yard touchdown that day. Like everyone, Eckler had like 40 points. I was like, oh my God. So that was the last time I was in the bowl, but I'm excited. I think I could pull it out in both my leagues. So I'm
Listen,
excited.
man, it's gonna be exciting. I'll be monitoring it, man, and I will have the payout ready for whoever is the winner, man. My little bro against Jacoby. I'll be monitoring it, man, and I'll
I'm
be
down.
I'll be watching your quarterback live.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So I'll
Hey,
be like, oh
hey,
shit.
the worst thing ever would be if he plays bad, but the Finns still lose, and then I lose my fantasy matchup like that. Like that's what would fucking suck.
Oh, definitely, man. So do you got I know it's the finals. Do you have a segment for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go over the four players. I think if you still have them, and I'm gonna go because Russell Wilson is getting benched, and he's my quarterback in my other league, so I'm kind of pissed off about that. But I picked up Flacco because he's been kind of killing, and I picked up Mullins, so I'm gonna think about one of those two. I'm gonna save those for last to make my decision. But I'm gonna give you four guys who I think are gonna win you your league, and obviously, first off, is Christian McCaffrey. I think if you have him, you're in pretty good position to
Oh
take your fantasy bowl, and I think that's just a no brainer to be honest with you. And also, I think if you have Debo Samuel, he's going to be needing a bounce back game. They're going up against Washington. They're still fighting for that one seed. So I think any Niner, whether it's Debo or CMC, I think they're in for a huge game. And Washington's defense is not good. So that's kind of what pumps me up about CMC. They'll probably run the ball a lot in garbage time. So that's what I'm excited about. And then I actually decided to go with a tight end this week. I don't know why. I just felt like it, but I'm going to go with Laporta because I gave up on Laporta, and a couple weeks ago he put up like 30 points. I traded Laporta before the playoffs, but I think he has a good game against Dallas. I know Dallas's defense is pretty good against tight ends, but Detroit they air that ball out a lot, and I don't think they're going to win that game. So I think that's going to be extra targets for Laporta. I think he's going to find the end zone once. So those are my first three, and then for the quarterback, because this is a stumper for me, I'm picking between Flacco and Mullins, but I'm gonna go with Mullins.
Okay.
He's going against Green Bay. Even despite throwing all those picks, he still put up 16 points.
400
And that's kind
yards.
of crazy to me that he threw 4 picks and he had 16 points. So that means he had like 23 points. So if he cleans it up a little bit, he's got Jay Jetta back. He should have a good one. So I think he's going to carry me. But those are my 4 winners for this week.
Okay.
Hopefully next week I'm hoisting my banner. So
Yeah, I like going with Mullins, man. Mullins had 400 yards. Obviously, the picks sucked. I started him in my one playoff league, and I got eliminated, unfortunately. But it's a must win, and they're at home. He threw 400 yards, clean up the picks, and I think you got some points, at least 20 plus in there.
Yep, that's what I'm going for, man. Hopefully I pull it out.
No Jair Alexander as well.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Mm-hmm.
That whole story was crazy.
It was. I was like, "What? Am I reading this correctly?" Like, damn, bro. Packers just have some weird scenarios going on.
Dude, it really is.
But all right, man. Good luck to you, my brother, on
I
that
appreciate it.
fantasy championship. We will talk about it and see how it goes next week. Let's touch on this. We are going to get into some NBA talk, but just to wrap up the NFL segment, Jets and Browns Thursday night. Browns are favored by 7.5 points at home. Cleveland is 7-1 at home. 10-5. Surprisingly, actually has a chance to be a 1 seed. Who do you think wins this game and by how much?
I'm taking the Jets with the upset. I just think this is a trap game for Cleveland. I think this Flacco insanity run is gonna go bad. So I'm gonna get just for fun. I'm gonna give the Jets the upset. I think they're gonna win 21-14.
Oh wow! And I did not even think you were gonna pick them. Wow.
Nah, I don't know. I think it's a funny matchup. Flacco going up against the team that was like he was a garbage time guy for pretty much, and in their rebuilding. I don't know. It seems funny to me. So, but I don't know. I'm just taking the Jets for the upset.
Zell in the chat says Jets 21-17. Damn.
Think about the betting odds too. Like they got Baltimore as 4-point favorites. So they're probably going to let that one slide. They got Buffalo as 13-point favorites. They don't want Buffalo to lose.
Yeah.
So look at the betting odds. They're going to have this one be the upset so they save some money this week.
Damn, bro. Now you got me thinking. Listen, I'm going to go with the Browns, but because of all that talk, I'm going to say that the Browns only win this game by 7. So I'll pick the Jets to cover.
Okay.
But Flacco, man, 1,307 yards already. That's hilarious,
Got to
man.
give it to him, but I think it ends this week.
Yeah, I can see it. Like it's Joe Flacco's a little bit old now. Like I don't know how he's doing what he's doing, but Giannis in the chat says Jets 20-14. Damn, 3 people picking the Jets on the upset.
Like
But
I
we
said, man, like the NFL is very shady when it comes to the odds, and
Mhm.
they don't want Buffalo to win to lose. They don't want Baltimore to lose, so they got to save money on something here. And that's going to be this game.
That's true, man. That's true. All right, folks. So we're gonna now shift things on over to some NBA talk. I'm gonna start implementing this now as we are, getting towards the tail end of the NFL season. Unfortunately, so I love the NFL, but I'm gonna start mixing in some NBA and Heat talk. Jacoby's gonna be joining me for the rest of the NFL season here, to talk about the NBA. We're gonna just talk about all NBA teams pretty much, just NBA headlines, the news, like how we feel about certain teams, and have some fun with it. So we're gonna run about 10 minutes. I got a couple I have a couple questions that I want to ask you, Jacoby, and just kind of kick things into gear with the NBA, man. So recently, a lot of people don't really watch until Christmas Day. Obviously they had the in-season tournament and all that. I watch the Christmas Day games. I enjoy Christmas Day a lot. I wish your Sacramento Kings were on Christmas Day because you guys would make so much freaking noise. Like I think they would have to put you every year. But how do you feel about the Christmas Day games, man?
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I didn't
Didn't
pay
watch?
any attention to them,
Damn.
but I will. I did watch recaps. Don't worry, I did watch recaps because I was just all football this Christmas Day, man. But
Yeah.
the Nuggets one, I was watching the recaps because I saw Steve Kerr was pretty pissed off about the calls, man. Dude, NBA officiating has been so fucking bad this year.
It has been.
And just seeing what was going down in that game as well, I for once kind of side with him. But Adam Silver needs to quit focusing on in-season tournaments and hold these fucking refs accountable, man. But I did watch the recap. Saw the Lakers. They lost to the Celtics, and they've been like what 2 and something since the NBA
tournament.
Cup. So. And then I watched the tail end of your game. It was pretty good. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really like the matchups this year for the Christmas Day. I think Kings and Warriors would have been fucking awesome
That should have been it.
for a rematch on Christmas Day. But I mean, there was pretty good set of games. But I mean, I'd say the Bucks matchup I didn't really care for, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Sometimes I wish like they can flex some of the Christmas Day games, bro. Like see how the season kind of plays out, but then I understand that probably gets difficult with tickets and travel and all that stuff. But there's so much opportunity every year. It's kind of like every time we get closer to Christmas Day, it's like, can we just not have that matchup? Can we have this instead? Especially your boys, man. So we are going to talk about your boys. I got a couple questions. Got a couple people on the chat. We got a Warriors fan in the chat. We got a Knicks fan in the chat. I'm a Heat fan. You're a Kings fan. So a lot of variety here, man. Let's start it with your boys, man. The Sacramento Kings having an impressive start to the season. Last year, they finished with there's 17-12, the 6th seed right now. Losing to Portland yesterday did suck, even though Fox went crazy, Sabonis went crazy. But you guys put everybody on notice, man. Last year, having that home crowd, show themselves off in the playoffs, making some noise, taking the Warriors to 7, Fox making the All-Star team, Sabonis, and now you guys are doubling up. Keegan Murray's making a lot of noise out there. How do you feel about this Sacramento team this season?
Man, I'm so uncertain about the direction because out of our 12 losses, at least like 5 or 7 of them have been blowouts. And there really hasn't been any close games in the games we've lost. Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes have just been complete disappointments this season. And I think Monty McNair did a horse shit of a job in the offseason. Bringing back Harrison Barnes made no sense to me. And it's just really like they got to make a big move. You got to make a big move at this deadline. And you also just, Davion Mitchell's completely out of the rotation. there's a lot of changes going on, but like there's just no defense to be played with this team. You play a Celtics team without Jason Tatum and you get your ass handed to you on your
Yep.
home court. So there's still a lot of questions. There's still a lot of uncertainty of what's going to happen with this team, but the deadline is going to say a lot. But I mean, I think Monty McNair needs to be held accountable. I think this offseason was just fucking horrible. Sasha Vezenkov is your biggest piece, and he barely even plays. He's in and out of the rotation sometimes, and I think he brings a lot to the team of what they need in terms of like spacing the floor, shooting the ball. But being 17-12, I'm not going to complain. But it's been a roller coaster for sure.
Yeah, 17-12 with an 11-5 record at home. I see where you're coming from. I'm a De'Aaron Fox, one of my favorite players, man. So I'm constantly watching your boys and watching the Kings. You've been fortunate to go to a couple games this season.
Season ticket member.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you, my guy. I know you guys, love your Kings out there in Sacramento. So I do hope for you guys to kind of, turn it up a notch. 17-12 is good, but that there's another level that this team could get into. And I'm with you with the Harrison Barnes thing. Me and you talk about it. I think they could have went another route. We talked about Kuzma before. You and I probably would have been a better fit, even though Kuzma's not all that. It's just something different, man. And the Herder piece is just kind of weird, man. Like this dude, yeah, the way he was popping off last year and the disappointing, like the minutes he's playing, it's like, there's games where he ends up with donuts. Like, what the hell, man? It's concerning.
It's been like this since the 3-point contest, man. I've never seen a 3-point contest completely destroy a player, dude. He's been non-existent since that 3-point shoot around where he laid a fucking dud. So it's been pretty crazy to see his downfall. And we gave up a first-round pick for him. So I mean, I'm not ready to jump ship on him yet because when he's on, he's on.
Oh,
he does a lot
beautiful.
for this team. But I'm not ready to ship off from him yet. But I mean, like, I would love to get another big piece and have him come off the bench for now. But I mean, in terms of because like every single player that's being talked about, the teams just want to fucking overhaul for them, and it makes no sense to me. So I don't know. But it's going to be a very important February. They got to make a big splash.
Let's say quick question. Like if you realistically, what's the one piece you'd like to see your Kings?
I think OG is a big part of what we need from the Raptors. I think his defense would be monumental for this team, and he has just enough offense to level it out as well. I think he would just be an amazing piece for this team. You can bring him in, have Herder come off the bench. Zach LaVine is very enticing to me. I've been a Zach LaVine guy my whole since he's been in the league. I would love him because at the same time, yes, we need defense, but we also need a third scorer. Like Keegan Murray has tremendous upside, but he's been very inconsistent. Harrison Barnes just puts up 4 or 6 points a game, and you see what Kevin Herter's doing. I think Zach LaVine would be an amazing addition to this team as well. I'm not really on board with the Siakam talk. I just don't think he'd bode well with Sabonis. Not like hate each other wise, but I don't see that working out because Sabonis is just he runs the offense in a way too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see that working out. Siakam kind of needs to have the ball in his hands at all time to be effective. So and that taking the ball out of Sabonis' hands is something I don't like to see, him or Fox. So I'm not on for the Siakam talks, but we'll see. We're gonna have more targets come available. Probably each week we'll have some more insight on what's gonna go on. But right now, OG or LaVine would be my 2 targets.
Yeah, that would be OG. I think that would be the perfect because you kind of get both, like you say. You get you get defense, tremendous defense, and you get some solid enough offense in there. Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns, man. The Phoenix Suns, a team that is, they went all in, bro. They got Kevin Durant. They traded Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. Then they kept Chris Paul and Ayton, and then they said, you know what? No, let's get rid of Chris Paul and Ayton. Let's just get a little bit richer, man. Let's just trade our whole team. Get Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's played like 1 game for the Suns. The Suns are now 14-15. You beat the shit out of them a couple days back.
Yep.
Yo, what's going on with the Suns? What's your take on the Suns, man?
I mean, I wasn't sold for their moves to get Durant in the first place. I mean, I don't know. They're so confused. I didn't think this duo was going to work well in the first place. Beal, too many injuries, not the best defender. Durant's kind of getting up there, but Durant is still Durant. And they had little to no bench pieces. I didn't understand firing Monty. That made no sense to me. So I don't know. I hated the direction they took. I think they were just fine where they were. Maybe added a couple more depth pieces or like mid to high contributors, but going all in for Durant just didn't make any sense for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean they gave up a lot, bro. I think, I kind of okay. You go get Durant. Okay, I get it. I like it. And then, but I like the team when you still had Chris Paul kind of running the point, taking the pressure out of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant's hands because I mean these two guys are asked to score and also asked to play make so damn much that it's just it. It's hard and it looks like a complete mess when it's not working out. I just think when they went extra greedy and they went to get the Bradley Beal, I think that's where they ultimately just fucked it up because now at this point, I mean, you're 14 and 15. Yeah, you can make the playoffs, but I don't even think there's a move out there that kind of fixes this whole mess that you got into. So I just think I think the Suns, for what they expect, which is a championship, when you pay those three guys like that, I don't think that there's a chance at all.
I think it's the same situation Brooklyn had. You just had three players that can't be all reliant with each other. And, it's just, I think it's going to turn into the same thing that happened with Brooklyn, to be honest. I think it set them back, but I hated the move from the start. And they're a Western Conference opponent, so I'm not complaining. Lose all you want.
Can't feel bad for KD, man. He asked for it. He wanted Brooklyn. He wanted Phoenix. He wanted Golden State. He wanted all of this, man.
Yep.
He's got what he's wanted all the time.
He had to win without Curry, so.
Exactly. Speaking about Curry, man, Warriors, man, are the Warriors done in your opinion? Draymond Green is just acting like an idiot, continues to do it. You saw the antics over his whole career. 15 and 15. Are the Warriors done? Is Clay done?
I think so. I'm not going to say the Warriors are done because every time I do, then they go on this ridiculous run and look unstoppable.
So true.
And they handed my team an ass whooping in Game 7 last year. But I mean, as long as you have Steph Curry on that team, I don't think you're done. They can continue to improve that team. Wiggins is not going to be this trash for the rest of the season. I think Clay's done. Clay's been done, and I hate Klay Thompson. He's like my least favorite player in the league. So I'm enjoying that downfall, but it's I'm not going to say they're done. I think they'll be in the playoffs, and I think they'll be right there. But to say they got a championship in the making this year, I would say not. But with Draymond Green, that's a whole different story. I think there's a real possibility he could be moved at the deadline. I don't think that's far-fetched to say. Who's going to take him? We don't know. But I don't think that's far-fetched to say, man, because he's just out of control.
Yeah, he's holding that. He's costing the team games. He cost them a game earlier against Oklahoma City. This dude just it's too much, man. Like it's too much at this point. I think they're all over it. The Thunder, man, 19 and 9, third place in the Western Conference. Man, they've been freaking fun as hell to watch, especially with Shea. What do you make of the Thunder? You think they're for real?
No, not yet. I think the Thunder are kind of what we were last year. I think they'll get figured out a little bit. I don't think they'll go too far in the playoffs either. But they are extremely talented. I've loved what they put together over there, and they got this situation with Josh Giddey right now. But they're gonna. I definitely see them making a move in this deadline. Who knows what they do? But I think they're right there. I think they just need one more year. But I'm not too sold on them yet. We're the worst defensive team in the league, and we've handed them a couple ass whoopings so far. So I'm not too sold yet, but I love the direction they're heading in.
Yeah, I think it's crazy because OKC, I've watched a lot of their games, and I've been very, very impressed. And all the picks that they have, they can go ahead and whenever they're ready,
they can get a huge star.
they can get a star whenever the hell they want, bro. Because all the picks, even if you package 4, they're still cooling, man.
Bring Durant back.
Yeah, he'd probably be down. This guy who's ever winning. Oh, 19 and they have 19 and 9 over there. I'll go there.
Yeah.
Fucking KD, man. Minnesota, another team, 22 and 7, first place in the West. You just saw this team live in person the other night. Is Minnesota for real?
I think they're for real. That's my brother's favorite team. That's why we were at the game. I think they're for real. They got themselves a squad. Rudy Gobert has definitely changed some opinions. I mean, I still don't really like him. I didn't really like the trade, but he does wondrous things over there, especially besides Karl-Anthony Towns. And they got a really special team over there. I think Anthony Edwards is going to continue to get better. And a very underrated player over there is Jaden McDaniels, man. Hell of a
Oof.
defender, hell of an offensive player as well, man. And I think they're for real. I think they get to the conference finals. Who knows what they can do from there? Who knows what they do at the deadline? But they got themselves a squad over there, and you know what? Well deserved, because it's been a while for Minnesota.
Yeah, man, I agree. They've been fun as hell to watch. I've been watching them closely as well. I didn't think they were gonna figure this out, man. Like I really didn't. You saw, because it's not only about okay what they gave up for Gobert, but how bad he looked last year. And then
Yeah,
not only that, I mean, you doubled down, and then
and
you
the fights with his
the
teammates.
fights, that right there, it's like it's hard to recover from that,
Yeah,
you know.
it
And
really is.
these players, Kyle Anderson and him, they're on the same freaking team, and they've squashed it and they look better. Carl Anthony Towns, it's also a player that I thought would want to be the main guy and would kind of be selfish, but he's literally taken a back seat to Ant, and he looks like he has no issue with, like, he's okay
No.
with it. Ant's been also preaching about him, saying like he loves playing with Cat. So there's a lot of leadership skills that Anthony Edwards is showing, and then their freaking defense, man. Like, yo, Minnesota, I'm with you. I think they're for real, man.
Yeah, we'll see, dude. I think this playoff race in the West is going to be interesting. A lot of teams are right in that mix, and hopefully, my Kings. I don't want to be a play-in team. I hope we stay in those top six, but it should be a fun. It should be a fun second half of the season when the trade deadline and All-Star break comes. But I'm really curious to see what direction certain teams make. But it's been a fun start for sure.
Right, right. I'm with you, man. What about who's your top 3 MVPs as of right now? No order, no order. It
MVPs.
doesn't have to be an order. I don't want to put you on the spot. Just give me
Yeah,
three names. Three names.
I'm gonna say number one is Anthony Edwards.
Like it.
Yeah, and then second is De'Aaron Fox. I think what Fox is doing is fucking crazy, and when he's not on the floor, this team is just completely lost. So I think he's making so much noise in Sacramento for us, and gotta love it. And for my third, man, that's a tough one. I think I'll take the safe route with Jokic.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy.
Jokic is just. I saw him in person a few weeks ago too. He's just takes your breath away every time, dude. It's just crazy what he's able to do.
Right. I like those. I like those, especially Fox. I love Fox. And I love what he's been able to do this year. He's shooting the three with more confidence. He's also playmaking.
Dude, he's lights out from three. It's ridiculous.
I'm like, it's just crazy, bro. From what me and you know Fox. We've been watching Fox. I mean, those threes were ugly in the beginning of the career, bro. Like, and the free throws were ugly as well. This dude literally has gotten better at the free throw line, better as a playmaker, better from three, shooting them with confidence, while also having the ball, majority of the time that he's out there on the floor. Thankfully, he's got Sabonis to kind of, help him breathe a little bit. But, bro, Fox has been legit, man. My top 3 MVPs right now is Jokic, because I just think Jokic is such a freaking stud. What he's able to do is incredible. It's pretty much, if Jokic doesn't have a triple-double, or I'm sorry, if Jokic doesn't have 20 plus points, it's because he's not even trying to. It's literally that. Like, he's just manipulating the game. He wants to get rebounds, wants to get other people involved. And it's pretty much like every time I watch him, it's like, okay, if shit hits the fan and you need the buckets, I'll score it. But first, I'm just going to do everything else. And I know that I'm that freaking good at it.
Couldn't agree more, dude.
Jokic is number one. I would say Embiid, but I think that the schedule that the Sixers have been playing, I can't give it to him, bro. Like, Joel Embiid should
notice
do
how
what he's
I didn't
doing.
give a single East player. I think the East has it too easy.
The East does. We certainly do. Second, I'm giving it to SGA, bro. SGA has been so freaking fun to watch. I mean, leading this Thunder team to 19-9. He's the guy who's been there, he's the engine right there. And what he's able to do, that's another guy that honestly manipulates the game, bro. He just looks like he just scores like so fluidly. He can stop on a dime. He can just turn around. He does so many great things out there. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander will be number 2. Number 3 is my boy De'Aaron Fox, man, because what he's been able to do this year and the improvements that I've been seeing, this is like from last year in the playoffs, you kind of saw like, oh, damn, okay, he has this. It's time to start, really giving him that respect. And then he just hit the ground running from the beginning of the season. So those are my top 3 guys, but I
don't think it's going to stop either.
That's what I love. I think having Fox and SGA in the conversation, 2 Kentucky guys, shout out Kentucky. I don't think those guys are. I think they're going to continue, on this pace, and they should be all-star starters. It would be crazy if they aren't, bro.
Yeah, I'll be pretty pissed if Fox gets in as a replacement again this year, but we'll see.
Such bullshit, bro. There better not be none of that, man.
I hope so, dude.
Last thing I want to touch on, I do want to just give some light to my Miami Heat, man. Shed my thoughts on them so far. They're 18-12, playing in a weak Eastern Conference, like Jacoby mentioned. The Magic are ahead of them at 18-11. The Sixers are 20-9, even though they have played a shitty schedule. The Bucks are 22-8. They have Dame and Giannis, and then the Celtics are pretty much the best team in the East, 23-6. My thoughts on the Heat is just they're pretty much the same team as we seen last year. They're a team that you can't count out. They're a team that knows how to play together. They're a team that's going to play defense. They're a team that's going to play together. Well coached by Eric Spoelstra over there. So I think you're going to continue to see that same type of Heat team where nothing changes, bro. Bam Adebayo is taking a step up. That's nice to see. Tyler Hero has taken a step up. That's nice to see as well. I expect both of those guys to make the All-Star team. Jimmy Butler,
so close for Lillard, dude. You're so close to getting him.
It changed everything, man. It's just it makes the Heat a hard watch, bro. It's like you're pretty much getting the same thing that we've been watching. But one thing that's been exciting is this rookie, man, Jaime Jaquez. I don't know if you've seen some highlights.
Yeah, I've been seeing him. Yeah.
Bro, he's been doing some really good things out there. He kind of looks like a mini Jimmy Butler. He's just so polished, bro. He's so polished. Like the way he plays, he kind of plays like him. And listen, it's like this is what the Heat do. They find gems, they draft guys late, and then they make them into players, bro. It's like that's pretty much it. Like that's how we get our third piece, bro. But the Heat,
hopefully you guys can. I think you guys will be the real threat in the playoffs again, like last year. I just want one more star with Jimmy, dude. One more like takeover player with Jimmy. I need Jimmy to get a ring, dude.
Yeah, no, Jimmy definitely deserves it. At least to just one, man. Just one,
please.
Yeah, Jimmy does deserve it, man. But folks, I have been watching the Heat, man. I have been keeping close tabs on them, and I'm excited about Jaquez. That's pretty much the highlight of my season so far is just watching him grow, because honestly, at the end of the day, this Heat team is going to be in it, in the playoffs. And there's not one team out here that, I'm scared of, because we have that Heat culture DNA, bro, that just gives anybody a run for their money. So hopefully we do make a trade for a splash, man. I want to ask you, as an outsider, Donovan Mitchell, would that be a guy that intrigues you for Miami?
Yeah, I mean, I think he would be pretty damn good against Butler. It's just like I said, man. Any starter player that is available, they just want a fucking overhaul for them for what we're seeing in the rumors. I mean,
it's terrible.
Yeah, like we'll see it. Like I think it was for OG, they wanted Keegan Murray and like 4 first-round picks. I'm like, no. So like, yeah. So I don't know, man. It's just I did see a report today that there's going to be a lot of buyers but few sellers. So we'll see what happens at the deadline this year.
Yeah, I think the only star at this point, because they've pretty much struck out on every single one, the only player that I seems possible to get is a Donovan Mitchell. But then sometimes it's like, okay, Tyler Hero scoring over 20 points per game. Are you really gonna just overpay for Donovan and get rid of Tyler? Like, as an outsider, you rather take that chance with Mitchell even if you had to let go of Hero?
I think I would. I like personally, I like Mitchell better than Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I like Donovan Mitchell came in the league my senior year, and he was just on absolute tear. He became one of my favorite players in the league, dude. So I think him next to Butler would be something I'd love to see.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you, bro. And I'm a Tyler Hero guy. I love Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is went to Kentucky. I'm a big Kentucky fan. But Donovan, I know Donovan doesn't play defense, but then again, it's who the hell plays defense in the NBA? It's very rare to see anybody. And you're backed up by Jimmy and Bam, who actually do. So Donovan Mitchell has this thing, bro, and it's called the freaking it factor. He can play in playoff games. He has played in playoff games. He's delivered. He scores, in bunches. He has that, somebody that you can count on when the big games come. That's not something that's guaranteed with Tyler Hero. And because you have Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, I think that's something that you got to go ahead and swing for. If I'm Miami, I would do that.
We'll see. It should be interesting covering the details the next few weeks, but hopefully something's made for both of our teams. I really hope so.
It shall be interesting, man. Alrighty, well, nice talking some NBA with you, my brother. It's been a pretty long show.
No, yeah, it's all good.
I appreciate everybody here tuning in on the chat, chiming in on the chat. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. We will catch you next week, hopefully talking about a Dolphins win.
An AFC championship.
Yes.
AFC East championship.
Well, yes, exactly. So we will certainly, dive into that. Jacoby, any last words before we get on out of here?
Nah, man, have fun. Be safe over there. Thank you for having me on the show all year. Happy New Year to you all. Hopefully we're celebrating next week for sure.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, my man. Happy New Year to you too. Good luck on your fantasy championship. And I'll talk to you next week, my brother.
Later, guys.
Later.